understanding my own mind, understanding my own inner world, and not only connected with spirituality, but also with science, neuroscience, how the brain works and how it affects our behavior and finally our lives and relationships, and how our thoughts can create realities, and how we are living sometimes in illusions of our mind. And this will be the topic here today. So I'm very happy for the invitation. Thank you to all the team in Italy. Thank you for all the technicals who are behind all this this scene. And I'm happy always to be able to share a little bit of my experience in this sense. And it allows me also to go a little bit deeper, because every time that I share, it's for me an opportunity to understand better, to go deep. So I was saying that the title for today is about conquering the illusions of your mind, the things that you create that are real and in fact are wasting your power and they are stealing your power, inner power, and how to activate this inner power that all of us we have. So as I said before, for me, the mind is something so interesting to reflect on and to study and to observe in yourself, because I believe strongly, firmly, that the mind is our most powerful resource that we have. Neuroscience also proves this through many studies, and now they know very clearly that our mind creates our experiences, and our experiences in life is what gives meaning to our lives. So thoughts, finally, are creating the destiny of our lives. If we believe it or not, but science is now proving that this is the reality. But sometimes it's difficult for us to accept that inside ourselves, we are creating the world that we are perceiving outside ourselves. But there are very simple examples that proves this. Same situation, 2-3 different people. If you ask to them, they will tell you 3 different stories. So if reality is reality, everyone would say the same thing. But for each one of us, same situation, the same circumstance, it's completely different. I will put an example. Yesterday, you know that in Spain, with the COVID, we are getting the second wave, and they are even telling that a third wave will come. So we are in Madrid, we are confined. We cannot go out from the city. Well, from the province of Madrid, we cannot, no one can enter in this area unless you have a certificate of something very important. But now, yesterday, happens the same in Barcelona. They closed the city, not entering no one and no going out, but also the restaurants and the bars were closed officially, like an order. So you can imagine how many protests, people really getting very upset, because this means a lot of lose of money. And for the people who have restaurants and bars, it's a really bad moment, bad time, how to manage this. So my daughter, she has 2 restaurants, small restaurants, bar restaurant. So she has been dealing quite well. Well, I was talking about perceiving life and how our thoughts create our reality. And for different people, the same circumstances can be perceived in a different way. So you can have a different experience. So I would put in the example of my daughter. She's living in Barcelona. And as you know, Madrid is confined. We cannot go out. People cannot go unless you have a certificate or permission. But yesterday also they declare the same situation in Barcelona. No one can enter, no one can go out. But also in Barcelona, especially, they closed all the bars and restaurants. So it was really a big protest. People were very angry. They were protesting in the streets and so many things happening. And my daughter, she has two small but nice restaurants, but bar restaurant. So she had to close them. And she was doing quite well before. Not so many people, but at least getting enough to pay all the workers and to pay all the expenses. So she was happy with that. And now everything is closed again. So people are fired again and no entrance of money, nothing. So I send her a message and say, how are you? What is happening there? How do you feel? And she replied to me, all the team, we have gone to the mountain to look for mushrooms because now it's the time for mushrooms. And she said, there is nothing bad that brings something good. So I say, oh, nice perspective, completely different than most of the people. No? And today she said to me, I'm finishing a master in business that she started last year, and she didn't have time to continue. And now she has time again because no work. So she said to me today, I'm taking back the master. I will finish the master and I'm thinking to reinvent myself. So if you hear the news, you see how people are angry, frustrated, fighting, blaming. And if you hear my daughter, she's thinking about reinventing herself. So this is the question. How do you perceive life? How do you experience life? Because the way you experience life and you perceive life is based on the beliefs, assumptions, education that you have received in your life. So there is no one to blame about that because all of us, we have gone through these situations. But now, if you are here, and maybe most of you are meditating also, we must reflect about this. If we still have some kind of experiences that gives us some kind of sorrow or frustration, or we are complaining, because all these things take us away our internal power. I was thinking today that instead of recovering the power, I was thinking that the reality is don't lose your power. We have all this inner power. We have an inner energy that gives us life, that allows us to live, to express, to communicate. But the thing is that most of human beings now are losing day by day, after day or after another day, they are losing their precious energy. So I was focusing this first part of the seminar on what are the things that makes us lose our energy. What are the things where I spend or waste my power? And then in the next session, we will explore how to conquer these illusions of the mind and also how to activate more, even more, this inner power. But I would say first, more than focusing on activating the power, we need to understand and realize what are the things that makes us lose power. And before going into that, how do I know that I'm losing power? And it's very easy to recognize. If you feel tired, if you feel frustrated, if you feel insatisfied, I don't know in English exactly, insatisfaction inside, all of these are signs that you are losing your internal energy. And you can see the world now, today. Many people, almost most of them, they are insatisfied, or they are frustrated, or they are complaining, and many, they are tired. And it's interesting because they are not doing physical things, many of them, but it's an internal tiredness. The other day I talked, because I work as an executive coach and I work for international companies. And 2 days ago, I was working with a manager from an American company. And she had a lot of responsibility, very smart, getting good results. But I asked her, how do you feel? And I said, I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. And she was saying, but I like my job. I'm so happy with my family. I'm so grateful of my life. I'm so fortunate because I have so many opportunities. Yes, so many things. So she was a successful woman as per the criteria of the world. But the experience that she has had having is of tiredness. And I could see in her when she was speaking, moving, replying, her breath was not clear. It was like, God, there was some blockage here. And so I can feel that there was stress inside herself. So this proves, and this is not the only example, it's many people is like this. This proves that doesn't matter if you have the best job, you get the good money, you have a wonderful family, you have, like this person, 2 beautiful houses, one in New Jersey, another in the mountains in New York, maybe 2 cars. Your future is guaranteed because you have enough money, but still you feel tired. Why? Because you are spending a lot of energy to sustain all these things, but especially you are wasting your beautiful pressure energy of the mind. So let's explore a little bit what makes us feel tired or frustrated and waste our energy. Well, I've reflected on that, and one thing is wasteful things, no? It's when you are doing wasteful actions, when you use wasteful thoughts, and when you use wasteful words. And this is so common in our society that it seems like it's normal to speak about anything, to think about whatever is in your mind, and to do actions that has no impact, or at least, or less, they have a contrary impact of what is expected. So first thing is to understand that your actions, your words, and your thoughts are creating energy or are wasting energy. And then I reflect on 4 attitudes that makes us do all these waste actions, waste words, and waste thoughts. And the 4 of them, they start with an R. I don't know if in Italian is the same, but in English, it's 4 R's. It's reaction, rejection, resistance, and reproach. Reproach. Reaction, rejection, resistance, reproach. So reaction. Anything's happen outside. Someone says something to me. Someone shouts to me or says something that I don't like, or something happens suddenly. and I react. I react in different ways. I can react with anger. I can react with silence, but it's like a frustration, a repression. Another one would be repression, also with R. This could be another one. So I react emotionally. And usually this reaction is taking a lot of energy. And the impact of this reaction makes me feel tired. And people, sometimes they don't realize how many times in one day they are reacting internally to so many things that are happening outside externally. Some news, they are reacting inside with anger. Some comment, they are reacting with another emotion. Someone says something, I don't like this, how they say, they are reacting. So it's becoming a habit. And this reactive attitude takes us so much energy from inside and makes us feel like frustrated and also tired. And the interesting thing is that maybe beautiful things are happening in your life during the day. Good things are happening to you, but the energy of reaction is like makes you blind from all the good things that are also happening in your day. So reaction. The next one is rejection. Rejection is very similar, very connected, but it's a little bit different. Rejection is when you don't like something, you don't like someone, you don't like the opinion of someone, and you reject this person. You reject this project. You reject this opinion. You reject this politician. You reject whatever is happening. So it's like you would like that life would be different. And so it's like you don't like something, and instead of, well, maybe accepting it or understanding it in a much broader way, the attitude is rejection, means I would like to finish with that. When you reject something, in fact, you are saying in your subconscious mind, I would like to finish with that. And in fact, many wars are created because of that. And if we bring to an extreme rejection, it becomes a really fight and battle between people to finish one or another. I reject this kind of people, so we must finish them. So this is the basis of many wars, rejection. This is the basis of many problems in relationships. So this takes also a lot of energy. And also this rejection becomes some kind of internal cycle, internal spinning, that is very difficult to take it out because it's there. I don't like how these people speak. I don't like these politicians. I'm not agree with this idea. And you reject, and it's very strong how it sticks in your mind. Next one is resistance. Resistance. Some changes. Life is constantly changing things. And every day, many things changes outside ourselves. And then you resist. I don't want things to be like this. I don't want to do this. I don't accept this situation. I don't accept this person, how he's behaving. It's unfair, this situation. So there is so many things that creates a resistance inside ourselves. And this resistance creates a lot of pain and a lot of waste of energy. And the more you resist, the more rigid you become. And the more rigid you become, the more easy you can be broken. You see, when something is very rigid and you make some tensions, you pressure or tension, clacks, it breaks. If you are like I don't know in English, junco. In Spanish, junco. No, it's this little a plant that goes to one side to another with the wind and is very flexible. So you are more flexible. You can deal with tension and pressures of life. But if you are rigid, you want things like this in this way, you like things in that way, I'm right, this is the way I think, and then you resist to change, you resist to modify things, then you spend a lot of energy defending your idea or your position or your intolerance. So it's so interesting, no? How all these things are inside ourselves. I'm not free of them. The thing is that if you are aware of them, you can deal with them. And the more you deal with them, the less influence have in you. And this is one of the main things, how they influence in my life. Because if the influence is very little, okay, they are there. And sometimes they come to just to check and see if you need to adjust a little bit more and grow in your awareness and consciousness. So they come to help you if you are aware of them. And the last one, reproach. Reproach is like blaming others. You did this to me. I reproach you, no? I blame you. Or the government did that. So this is why we are in this situation. And so many things are going in the wrong way in these days. And if we blame others, we put ourselves in the position of a victim. And when we are like victims, a victim is not able to do anything. Just wait for something external to happen. And this is very frustrating because many times nothing happens. And it means also a very narrow way of understanding life. Because people think sometimes you hear stories about things, no? How opinions of people, and they solve a problem or a situation with a very simple sentence. If politicians were doing this differently, everything will be going well. Okay, so simple is the solution? Are you sure that it's only this? Or whatever, like now with the virus, no, this is nothing. You only put attention to this or to that and everything will be fixed. Are you sure that it's so simple? And everything what is happening, how can you understand this? So it's so interesting how sometimes our way of thinking is very narrow, very, very small. And, and we understand that life is more complex. Life has much complexity. And when we go inside ourselves, we understand ourselves better, then we can understand also that the world has much more complexity. There are many factors influencing the situations. And there is not such a thing that you only say one sentence and this is the solution to this problem. But it's so easy, no, to talk about things. But it's so difficult to be there and have to take the decisions, have to deal with the problems or conflicts. This is completely another thing. And then when these people have a small problem, they drown in a small glass of water. So then you can say, okay, it was so easy to solve all, find solution for all the country or for all the world. And then this small thing in your life makes you drown in a glass of water. So this is the way that many of us in different moments in our life, we have been responding to life, blaming others, becoming a victim. So all these attitudes, reaction, rejection, resistance, reproach, all of them, they put the attention, the focus is put outside. Someone is doing something wrong to me. Someone is saying something I don't like. Someone is saying something and this is why everything is happening. Everything is outside. We have learned this from childhood. There is no one to blame, but we lose a lot of energy through that. So the intention is to change what is happening outside, because it doesn't fit how I see or perceive things. This is not how I would like things to be. And I don't understand that this is life. This is life. Life is different. Life is change. Life is completely maybe a different situation, different things that what I think. Sometimes it matches with my perception, and then I feel great and happy. Wow, today is a good day. I get this result. This was okay. This was, people were appreciating me. Wow, today I'm in a very good mood. But many times, more times, life is not as I would like. So then what? And then is when I'm fighting with life. I'm struggling with life. And many people say like this, no? I'm struggling with life. I'm struggling with my situation. So the intention is to change what is happening outside. But when you go a little bit inside yourself and you start this inner journey of self-awareness and knowing yourself, you start to understand that outside is neutral. Outside is neutral. Life is neutral. Circumstances are neutral. But inside myself is the response that I decide to take according to the circumstances of the world outside. So when I start my journey, the journey is from inside to outside. And this is the starting point to change this kind of getting energy or wasting energy. So there are also another 3 things connected with that makes us lose energy. And there are these 3 things with D. They start with D. I don't know if in Italy. And it says distraction, the mind is distracted. Dispersion, lack of focus. And disorder, lack of method, no aim. So we are living in a world that in fact is not teaching, but incentivating. I don't know if this is the right word. Incentivate, are motivating us or influencing us in being distracted. There are so many things through internet, online, so many distractions. We can spend 24 hours if we want, looking videos, responding WhatsApps, sending emails, looking photographs in Instagram, sending messages through Facebook. So it's a good thing if we want to share information and connect with many people. So social media is the opportunity now to reach so many people than never before. So this is good. And at the same time is a temptation to be distracted all the time and to be buying things sometimes that you don't want, but you are like attracted by them. I can see myself how I'm pulled to see things that they are sending me and tempting me to buy, because I don't know exactly how it works, but I search for something, and then after this, I receive so many marketing information in the way I'm working about these products that many times finally you say, okay, let me buy it. So there are a lot of distractions. You need to be very disciplined to not allow yourself to be distracted, because this makes you lose focus and also lose a lot of energy. And then dispersion is very connected. The energy is dispersed. Many people, if you ask them, what is your purpose? What is your intention doing what you are doing? What is your focus on? Say, what do you say? What do you mean with purpose? What do you mean with intention? I'm doing things. I'm responding to life or reacting to life as it comes. Well, this is life. So then is very lot of dispersion. And you can see that in the way that people speak. And they start to speak for something, then they continue with another thing. They go here, they go back here. And many times I say to some people, I say, please, what do you want to say to me? Oh, yes, true. I want to say this and that. Because they are speaking so many different things, but you don't know what they want to express to you. So dispersion, lack of focus. And the other one, and not many, but these are three that I was thinking about today. The other one is disorder. And disorder is like lack of method, lack of aim. You have dispersion, disorder, and distraction, and all these energy are taking your energy here and there. I'm sure you have had the experience of trying to find something, and because there is no order, things are not in the right place to find them, you lose so much time looking for something. And when you put this thing in some place, you say, well, I put this here, I will remember when I need it. But the day arrives when you need it, and you say, wow, where I put this, where it was. And I think to all of us has happened this. And then you learn the lesson, and you start to put things in some places so that you create systems, you create like structures, and you create a focus of what is important, what not, and you throw away things, and then you start to gather your energy. So if you are focused, if you have a clear aim, and you have structure or systems to organize not only things, but also your thoughts and your life, you will be gather much more energy than with the other attitudes. So all this is connected with what we call the ego, this false identity. And in the next session, we will talk about the real identity. Who really am I? Now we are talking of who I'm not me. Who I'm not me. So we are talking about this ego, and all these things are connected with the ego, with this false structure that we have created of ourselves, with this false image of ourselves, with this personality of pretending, of protecting ourselves, of trying to prove others, or trying to demonstrate others that I'm in something or not. And we are hiding our true identity and our true authenticity. So this is the ego, and we have grown with these concepts. So it's again no one to blame, just to be awakened and realize this as quicker as I can, so that I can deal with that. So there are two things in the ego that creates a lot of problems also, and is an illusion of our mind and takes a lot of energy. And one is I, and the other is my or mine. When I say I, what I'm saying, I am what? My role, my possessions, my image, or my real I. And usually people are connected with the false I. So every time that they use I, they are connected with a false identity. And this is creating, again, problems. And the other one, my or mine, I think it's even bigger. My opinion. This is, wow, one of the main reasons for conflicting relationships. And this comes from all beliefs and social beliefs and the education of your family and the experiences in your life. So no one to blame, but to realize, we have to realize that all these things are happening inside myself. and are taking my energy, and has nothing to do with external circumstances and has nothing to do with other people. It's only with me. And my mind creates so many stories with all these attitudes. And these stories create so many thoughts that sustain the story. And then I start to believe in that story, and I start to identify myself with that story, and I become my story. And you say, it's like people saying, you know, I'm like this. And I'm like this because this happened to me, when I was a child, this happened to me. You don't know what is this. It's a very strong situation. And I say, this is a real situation. I say, how old are you? 60. So you still are thinking about what happened to you when you were 10 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever. What have you done 50 years in your life? Creating a story and creating excuses of not changing your behavior in your life because of a situation in the past. And of course, has an influence, but not for all your life if you are determined and you want to change. So another thing to check is to observe your story. What are you telling yourself every day when you wake up? What are you telling yourself when you go to sleep? What are you telling, and what are the voices that are inside yourself during the day? Because this creates also your energy, and this creates your experience in life. And especially one of these attitudes is the one who is, I'm right. What do you think about that? I'm right. I'm right. So this is so strong inside ourselves. I can see myself, still there is this I'm right. Very subtle is there. I'm right. And when you have this feeling inside that I'm right, the way I think is the right way. The way I put things in my house is the right way. The way I work is the right way. The way I play this is the right way. That when I listen to other people, I listen to win my battle and to be right. I'm not listening to understand the other person or to learn something from the other person. I'm just listening to be right and to find a way that then say my story and convince the other person that finally, I'm right. So all these things makes you lose your power. And all these things are illusions in the mind. They are not the truth. And we have been trained with all of that. So we have to accept with love and with compassion. There are so many things that are taking away our power. And everything of this happens only here. This is the main thing. We have to start in this point. Nothing really happens outside. The story that I tell myself happens inside. And the waste of energy of my potential happens inside. So if I realize that, I then have the opportunity to change something in my life. Then I have the opportunity to do something different with my life. And the first step is to stop, to pause, to go in silence, and to check yourself. To check yourself against all these ideas, and many more, but I think these ones are some of the main ones. And if we work with this, I think our life will be much more different. So inside, in silence, check yourself. How I lose my energy. So now I would like to invite you for a short, I would say, not exactly meditation, but a reflection, silent reflection, and a little bit commentary about all what we have been talking. And then in the last few minutes, I would like you to write something in the chat so that I can see it, and maybe some questions about what we have been working. But now let's do a little bit of exercise of personal reflection all together. So I invite you to breathe deeply, because breathing helps us also to release energy, tension, and to connect with your inner world. If you feel comfortable, you can remain with your open eyes, but focus on one point, relaxed, or you can close your eyes as you prefer. And now just breathe for a moment, consciously. Breathe in and breathe out. And just be there. Nothing to do, nothing to solve, nothing to plan, nothing to organize. Just be here, present, breathing, and enjoying the sensation of your breath. And allow that every breath takes you a little bit more inside yourself. Allow your breath to help you to disconnect from the outside world and bring you slowly, slowly to your inner world. And now I invite you to visualize that you are seated in a very comfortable chair in the middle of a cinema or a theater, whatever you prefer. Or nowadays, even in the lounge of your home, because we have also big screens at home. No? The idea is that you now visualize in front of you this big screen or this scenery, this stage, or this big television, whatever you prefer. But you are very comfortable sitting there. The screen is dark, nothing is projected there, but you are sitting very relaxed and enjoying this moment and breathing very slowly and deeply and waiting to see the film in this screen or in this stage. And slowly, slowly, images of your life appears in this screen or in this stage, whatever you prefer. And in a detached way, because you are detached from that, what you are seeing, you start to see different scenes of your life. And you will focus on how do you lose your energy. What are these attitudes that usually you use, even without noticing them, but they take your energy? And you believe that it is true, but it's not true. Be honest with yourself. You don't need to share this after that. It's just for yourself. So you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Be honest with yourself and try to see different situations, maybe in your family, maybe in your job, maybe with yourself when you are alone. How do you cheat yourself? How do you allow these illusions of the mind to influence you, to possess you sometimes? Maybe you are reacting to people or to circumstances. Maybe you are rejecting someone. Maybe you are resistant to change. Maybe you reproach something. Check for a moment in different situations of your life and see yourself acting and reacting and maybe rejecting, reproaching. Be detached. It's like a film. You are comfortable in your chair, but you are realizing, where are you losing your energy? Where are you losing your awareness? Be there for a moment in silence, checking and learning from yourself and knowing yourself a little bit better. Be there. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's with your job. Maybe it's with the concept that you have about yourself. Maybe it's with the politicians. Or maybe it's with life. See where you are influenced by any of these attitudes. And observe how you lose your energy. Even thinking that you are right, that this is fair, what you are thinking or believing, that this is the right thing. Be detached and see how you lose energy. And how do you feel after that? Do you feel empowered or do you feel tired, exhausted, frustrated? Observe different situations of your life. Realize where you lose your energy. This is the first step before tapping into your power. And now, take one of these situations, one who you prefer, one of them. Choose one. And now change the scene and imagine that you are free from this attitude and you are acting in a completely different way. You are acting with authenticity. You are acting with awareness. You are acting with self-respect. You are acting and behaving with compassion and kindness. And you have a more open mind and understanding the complexity of situations and people and life. And you are listening to the situation for learning, not for being right or to win. You are there to learn something. Everything is for you. Try to change the situation and see how it would be if you behave, you act, and you think in a more powerful way. Just enjoy the situation and see yourself acting in this new way. Take a little bit more of time. Enjoy this change. Or Maybe you are resisting to change this. No, the situation I cannot change. This is not possible. This is not right what is happening. Observe if you are resistant to that situation. Sometimes it happens. This is just an exercise. So allow yourself to free yourself and to enjoy yourself acting and behaving in a different way. It only depends on you. Let others be as they are, but decide you as you want to be. This is where lies your real power. This is the point when you start to become powerful. Just be there with yourself for a moment more, 1 minute more. Very good. And now you can breathe deeply and slowly, slowly come back. And I would like now to invite you to write something in the chat. I think if you write in Italian, I can understand a little bit. If not, I can ask. But also, if you have any question, maybe some can write it in Spanish or in English, and we can interact a little bit the few minutes that still are left about what we have been sharing. And in the next session, we will talk about how to deal with all these situations and how to create this inner power. So solutions will come later. Now it's time to share a little bit what has happened in this experience and all the things that we have been sharing. So anyone who wants to share something in the chat, I don't know if you can talk also, I will be pleased to hear something about you.
Enrique, could you repeat, please, what exactly they have to share?
Well, it's very general, very open. If they have any question about what we have been talking, one thing, but the other one is a little bit the experience of this experience that we have had. If they have realized something, if they have discovered something, if they have noticed something, they can share the experience a little bit or any reflection, and or they can ask something if they want.
There are a couple of comments from the Italian group. So one is, it feels difficult to accept my illness. And then the second person says, my problem is to manage the energy of other people. How should I do that?
Well, the first one, illness means physical illness, really, or it's a metaphoric way of saying something of this attitude?
It takes a moment for them to respond. So. In the meanwhile, shall I say another one, or we wait?
Yeah.
Physical illness.
Physical illness, okay.
Yeah.
Well, illness also, we can perceive it in a different ways. I know, and I can understand that it's not something that gives you happiness to be ill. It's clear, this is fact. And at the same time, it's something that all of us have to pass through. Sometimes more difficult situations, sometimes less. But it's like a messenger that comes in life to tell us that we have to change something. We have to do something differently. Or maybe we have to develop some kind of new attitudes. And the illness brings us this opportunity. But observe yourself, just to check yourself if you are resisting to this situation. Because this has been proven also. The things that you resist, they persist, they stay there. But when you start to flow, to accept, to be more flexible, then you allow even your body to have more space to repair. Because you know that many times we think that illnesses are cured by the medicine. But in fact, the real way to cure ourselves physically is allowing our body and giving ourselves of the body the strength and the nutrients so that they can do their work, because our body is so intelligent. Cells, they know what to do. So when you resist, you're creating tension, and this tension is not creating space. So my invitation is to check yourself and see if there is a resistance, and try to accept, because if the illness is there, the real fact is that is there. So maybe it's better if you deal with love, compassion, and kindness rather than resistance. It will help you much more. And you will see that you can deal with that in a more comfortable way. Mm-hmm. The other one was about relationships. Yes, relationships is the source of most happiness for a human being, because we are here to relate with people and to enjoy the company of our friends, family, loved ones. And at the same time, now I think, and I see, not think only, but I can see that is the source of most strong suffering in the world. So not easy, of course, but at the same time, talking about perceptions, is the possibility for each of us to change perception of life, of ourselves, and of others. Every one of us, and I'm absolutely sure about this, and what I would say now, this is not an option, this is something that I'm sure that no one that is listening and no one outside can be excluded from that. Every one of us have at least one person in our life, and I say at least one, maybe more than one, that comes to teach us and to be a mirror to us to improve some qualities. And especially in relationships, what are the qualities that other people come to tell us or help us to develop? Tolerance, patience, how you say, adaptability, flexibility, but especially tolerance and patience. And are two very important qualities to be at peace with yourself and to be happy. We cannot pretend to be happy when all the things are in the right way for us. No, things will be not in the right way. People will be thinking differently, acting differently, behaving differently. But when we develop tolerance, patience, flexibility, then we can be happy and peaceful in the middle of situations that are not so comfortable, especially in relationships. And we will talk more in the second session about this, because this is the main topic. But the first thing is to change the perception of the situation. I've done this several times. And when I was able to do it, and I can say it's not a question that, it's not a thing that you do in 1 second, 1 minute. You have to deal with that. You have to work with that, of course, and with determination. But I can say that when I was able to change my perception of this person or of this relationship and perceive in a completely different way through patience, tolerance, compassion, kindness, not always was arrange the situation, was put it in the right way, but I was feeling so well. I was feeling so relief of this resistance or of this reaction or of this rejection or of this reproach, because all these enters in your mind, and as I said before, is like spinning of thoughts that takes your energy, doesn't allow you even to sleep. I'm sure you have had this experience. Huh? Someone enters here and you are talking to this person all the time, while sleeping, whilst eating, whilst going for a holiday. You bring this person here. So when you change your understanding and perception, and then you feel so free, so free. The person maybe will not change, but you have changed. So I will invite you to do the effort. Takes effort, not easy. This is clear. I know for experience, but it's worth to do the effort because the first one who is benefited is you. And the third question, I don't remember now.
So there's two more now. One is I looked at different moments in my life again, and the things that took me back, made me fall back again. And the difference is that now they don't hurt as much because I gave them a different meaning. So that's just a comment, actually. Okay. Another question is, I resisted a situation rather than accepting it.
It's a comment.
So I resisted a situation rather than accepting it and living and experiencing it with more lightness. Yeah, I think it's also just a comment, actually. Pietrina, se c'è una domanda puoi scrivere, se no va bene anche così. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. It's very interesting, this commentary, because people think that they cannot change their past. And I was thinking like this before. But then I understood that the facts, the things that happened in our lives in the past, we cannot change them. The facts. Someone shouted at you, you were fired from a job, someone rejected you. We cannot change the situation and the fact, but we can change the perception that we had from that fact, and then you perceive it in a different way. And I've done this with my past, and now I can tell you that I'm completely at peace with my past. Even if I have to repeat exactly all the things that have happened to me, I will do it, because I know that I will reach the same situation that I'm now. And I'm happy where I'm now, because I've learned so many things through suffering sometimes, many times, I would say, not sometimes, through suffering. But I've been able to change the perception, and now I'm at peace with my past. And this is what we can do. Not change the situations, but change the perception, the illusions that we have created in our minds, and create a different story. And then you have a different experience. And this is possible. And this is the power of our minds. This is the power of our souls. This is the power that we have internally. And this is what we will talk more in the next session. So let's finish with 2 minutes of silence, just to absorb the energy of this session and whatever we have been reflecting. And
Enrique, sorry, yes. I see that there's another couple of questions. Do you want to take them up afterwards?
Yes,
or?
Yes. No, now.
Okay, one is from the English group, I see.
Yes.
How can I deal with rejecting and reproaching myself? And the other one is from the Italian group, which is, we can become hypocritical about ourselves and superficial in our relationships when we don't have consideration of the others.
Well, I think it's connected. We will talk more in the next session about how to deal with all these things. But I would say the main thing finally is not to react with yourself, not to reject yourself, not to reproach yourself, not to resist to yourself. So the main work is with yourself finally. We think that is outside, but it's inside. So what I have done, and I will invite you after the next session to do is to create an attitude of compassion and kindness towards yourself, to train yourself to be your best friend. Because with the only person that you have to be all the seconds of your life, and if you believe in more lives, all the seconds and minutes of all your lives, is with yourself. So it's better you start to create a good relationship, a good friendship, a good understanding of yourself, and become your best friend, because yourself is the only one that you can help you all the time, anytime, at any moment. So it's true that we have created these habits because these are patterns of thoughts and patterns of behaviors that we have learned from parents, society, school, friends. But now, if you are here, now it's the opportunity to really put a determined thought, and this we will talk more in the next session, and decide that from today, I will become my best friend. I will accept whatever weaknesses, whatever mistakes I've made, because everything is for you to learn, for you to grow, for you to develop to the next step. And then treat yourself with kindness. Now, when I make a mistake, I continue to make mistakes. People think that because I'm meditating for 30 years, no more mistakes. No, no. I think I have to continue to meditate because still are so many things here to change. But when a mistake is made, I don't punish myself. I sit, I remain in silence, don't allow my mind to go here and there and run more. And then I laugh about myself and say, Enrique, again? Yes. Well, what have you learned? Okay, let's start again. Let's move on again. Let's try again. Next opportunity. But don't stop. Move forward and continue to learn. And I feel, well, I know that the mistake has an impact, of course, and I have to deal with that. But I don't allow my mind to create more impact than the mistake has created. Because if I continue to think about that, this is an addition. This is not the impact of the mistake. This is adding to the mistake more mistakes. So I've learned not to add more and to deal with the mistake I've made and to do whatever I have to do. So we will talk more about how to be compassionate, kind with yourself, and to create this attitude of being your best friend in the next session. So let's start with a moment of silence again, just to be present, to connect with ourselves and with this moment. And again, to connect with the topic. So breathe in deeply, relax. And allow yourself to be present. Let go of anything that you need to let go. and enjoy this beautiful silence that is created when we are present. And now observe your mind. Become the observer. Observe how do you feel. Observe what are the thoughts in your mind. And learn the art of becoming the observer. And with every breath, allow yourself to go more deep and deep into yourself. And now you can breathe deeply and come back. Very good. So, we have been talking about the illusions of the mind, all these attitudes that steals our power, and how we create our reality inside ourselves, and how we can understand the past and create a new perception of the past. And maybe the main thing is that anything that we experience in our life happens inside ourselves. It doesn't happen outside. The experience in my life is the inner dialogue that I create inside myself about what is happening outside. So it's not about outside, it's about inside. So now let's continue about the topic, and let's go to the part of what to do, how to manage, how to reprogram yourself, because all the things that we have been explaining before the first session is like a program that we have been creating through our lives. And a program is a pattern of thoughts that we have accepted, sometimes even without knowing if they were true or not, but because they were normal, or our parents or teachers or friends, they believed in them also. So we accepted them, we made them part of our lives, and we built a story around them. And then the story is creating our experience, and it's giving meaning to our lives. So this is why sometimes Even though we don't like some things of our lives, we resist to change because our unconscious mind is like having fear that if I change my story, if I leave my story that I've been with it all my life, what would happen with me? Who would I be then? I am the one who is identified with my story, and all the things that I relate about myself and how I relate with the world and with others is connected with my story. So if I change my story, or if I forget or diluted my story, what will remain? Who would I be? So you need courage. You need courage to transform yourself, because in one way or another means to leave your old personality, your old self, and be bold and brave to embrace your new self. And in fact, your new self is your authentic self, and your old self is your false self. But you have been so long with your false self that sometimes takes time and determination to become your authentic self. So let's start. And I'm sure many of you are already meditating, so these steps maybe will seem some obvious, but I think it's worth to repeat them to remind us about simple things that create the real changes. And maybe for some of you can be very helpful also. The first thing is you need to pause. You need to stop. If we don't stop, if we don't pause, for what? To reflect, to go inside yourself, to observe yourself. It means to do something different than what we are doing normally in our daily routine. When you stop doing actions, when you stop thinking about what is happening, and you find this space to pause, to stop, to reflect, then here is where the journey begins. And this is not meditation. This is just to stop. And it's very interesting because for some people, only this small step, it's almost impossible to do. And I work with executives and managers who are very busy. And I tell them sometimes it's good for you to pause and reflect. Yes, I know. And I say to them, I challenge you. Why you find a time every day to stop and reflect and write something about yourself, or just to reflect about your job and whatever you need to change. And after 1 month, many of them, they say to me, I haven't had time. I didn't find the time to pause and to stop. So many things to do. And it seems so clear and justified. But in fact, we are escaping from ourselves. And do actions, be all the time involved in actions, is like a way of escaping from ourselves. It's like a way of being lazy, of doing the real work. It's like a paradox, no? Being very active is a laziness of not doing the important work, which is go inside and learn from yourself to change something. So if we don't do this small step, we cannot continue with the rest. We can understand all the rest rationally and intellectually, And many people will say, I know all this. It's clear. I've read many books. I've been in seminars, and it's clear. Yes, I have to stop. I have to reflect. I have to meditate. But are you doing this? Oh, not for the moment. I have no time. But in the next future, I will do it. When this, and that it's finished, I will do it. No, 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 no. If you want to do it, you have to do it now and start now. And this is why the second step is so important also. And still is not doing anything, it's just preparation. It's creating the momentum for any change, for even any project that we want to start, even in a professional level. For anything that we want to do in life, we need to create momentum. Momentum is to create the energy that helps us to move forward in this direction. And if the things are clear in your mind, but you have not created the energy, the momentum, you will not do it. So first, to find the time to stop. But second, in this pause, you need to convince yourself. Very important. You need to convince yourself that the change that you need to do is worth, that you want to really finish these voices inside yourself, or that you want really to change this relationship with someone else, that you need to work inside yourself. And how you convince yourself. And this is pure marketing. And you will say, what's this? Marketing in spirituality? Yes, pure marketing. How are you convinced to buy something? You can see an advertisement. Whatever advertisement you see, they are so well done. In 30 seconds or even 20 seconds, they almost convince you to buy something. They put a beautiful image. They make you feel that you are using this product in whatever way you may use it. They give you the benefits to having this beautiful product. And some of them make you feel that you are using and experiencing something different. So advertising today is not about the product, it's about the values or the experience of having this product. So you have to do the same with yourself. You have to sell yourself the product. You have to visualize yourself living in this different way that you want to be. You have to visualize yourself dealing with this relationship in a completely different way. You have to feel yourself talking to yourself in a different way. You have to create the experience inside yourself, in your mind, of living free from these limitations of the mind and create experience. It's possible to do this, even though still are there the limitations, but we can create experience of being free from that. Then we have to do the work. But if you experience this in your mind before doing the work, so you have an experience of what could be free from all these things and how could your life be different, then you will do the effort, because there is a need of great effort. But at the same time, it's so interesting. We can create beforehand the experience. So you need to visualize yourself. How would I be free from this negative inner voice? How would I be more easy and flexible with this relationship? How would I be my life if I don't complain anymore about anything, and I accept how is life, and I focus on myself and of what I have to do, and connect with that and feel that, and you will enjoy. And when you enjoy, you will say, I want this product. I want to buy this. I want to do the effort, because you can taste, you can have a taste of what could be this situation. Instead, what we do usually, if there is, for example, a problem in relationships, as you have asked before, we tend to avoid this situation or reject, or to, uh, yes, reject would be the word, but not, even not resolve the situation, because many situations cannot be resolved, especially in relationships, but can be accepted, can be integrated in part, as part of your life. And then if you can visualize yourself integrating this situation and being detached, you don't need to solve the situation. You don't need to fix the other person, not even yourself. Just you need to focus on yourself and the way you want to respond, and integrate the situation as part of your life. And it's so interesting that when you don't resist, when you don't reject, when you start to accept and integrate, it seems like the situation has disappeared from your life. I will give you an example, very simple, but could be like a small reference. And it's very interesting because you will see. For example, in the room of meditation, sometimes in some rooms there are a clock in the wall, and this clock made sound, tick tack, tick tack. If you concentrate on the sound, you cannot meditate, and you start to react. Oof, what a noise of the watch, of the clock. Oh, all the time. Oh, it gets inside myself. It's so disturbing. You are resisting, you are rejecting, you are reacting to this noise. But when you integrate the noise, when you accept the noise, when you are flexible with the noise, understanding that this is there and you can focus on yourself, and you can focus the attention in your inner work, suddenly what happens, because this is my experience, is like the clock has disappeared. The sound is still there, but it's like you don't hear the sound because you have integrated it. You have not rejected, or you are not resisting to it. So it's the same with people. It's the same with your job. It's the same with the situations that we are living. When we complain, when we react, when we don't accept, it's like creating a lot of noise inside ourselves. But when we integrate and we accept, it's like it disappears. So you can create in your mind the feeling that it's like meditating within silence, no matter what the sound is outside. But you feel that if you focus inside yourself, you can experience silence. The same with situations externally. Create this visualization. How would be my life if I integrate this situation? Don't want to fix it, don't want to solve it, don't want to do nothing, just integrate, accept, and ask myself the question, what do I have to learn from this situation? And then the perception of this situation changes completely. But this is still not the work. This is just the pre-work. So when you start to feel that it's very nice, it's a wonderful feeling to be free from these attitudes, and you see and feel inside yourself that you can get much more energy when you change these patterns of behavior and thoughts, then you have to create inside yourself determination. And this is very important. Now I know that this I want to take to, I want to experience. No? I want to change this in my life. So I want to be determined. I need to create a discipline I know that it will take effort, but I want to do it. I will do it. Even I have to. People don't like sometimes I have to, but in this case it's good because it's like a must. It's like you want to force a little bit yourself to do something that it will be good for yourself. Mm? We are forced to do so many things that we don't like in our jobs, in our lives, so many things because of money, because of these things, because of people. So do something for yourself. Mm? So put this determination, this energy, and you see that you are creating this momentum. Momentum. And determined thought means that you focus your energy in this situation and you will look for the things that you will need to achieve your goal. So you need to pause, to reflect, to convince yourself, to visualize yourself, to have this experience, then to have determination, to create momentum, and then have this clear aim, and then understand what are the steps that I need to do to achieve my aim in a very consistent way. Because the thing is, achieving a little bit of the aim sometimes is not so difficult. But the aim is to achieve this forever so that you live a different life. I will put my example, personal example. When I was 25, I was very angry with life. I was very frustrated with life, with my life. I was tired of life also. And anger inside, a lot of anger, was violence inside myself because I was not happy. So I decided to change my life. And I changed my place where I was living because I went out of my parents' house for 6 years. And then I came back and I tell them, please, can I stay here for a while to reinvent my life? So my mother was laughing. You went away so proud of being independent and doing your life. And now after 6 years, you come back in this stage. Okay, yes, of course. She was a beautiful woman, beautiful mother. So she said, stay at home and reinvent yourself. So I started to change things in my life. I didn't know why or for what, but I was looking for yoga. I started to be vegetarian, not knowing why, but it was like looking for something new. I started to practice a little bit of meditation. And well, I was feeling, well, a little bit better. Not much clear, but a little bit better because all these things gave me a new energy, you know? And I took many times, many moments of pause, no, of silence, of reflection. This was a big change in my life. I was always connected with people. I didn't want to be alone. I felt bad when I felt alone. So one big change was that I spent a lot of time in silence, in solitude with myself, without understanding exactly what is happening to me, but like the need to be with myself. And I was putting music, I remember, classical music. I didn't like this before. I liked it rock music and pop music. But then at that time, something changed inside myself. And I started to put this classic music. And it helped me a lot to clean my mind. So after 2 years of this search, I was invited to the center of Brahma Kumaris in Barcelona. So a friend of mine invited me there to have a tea and to know the place. And he said to me, this is wonderful people. They think like you will enjoy. And I was a little bit tired of so many things. And I said, well, let's go for a tea. Okay. But don't think that I will do more things because I'm trying so many things. Raja Yoga, another yoga. Oof, I'm tired, so many yogas. But well, for a tea and cookies, I go. So I went there, nice conversation. And at the end, one of the persons there, she said to me, do you want to meditate before going? And I said, yes, because I was already familiar to meditation. So I sat there in the meditation room with her. She put a little bit of music. And I don't remember if it was 1 second, 1 minute, or 10 minutes. But suddenly, I felt like a shower of peace, or more than a shower, a cascade of peace over me. Never in my life I had this experience. So my mind was quiet. My heart, so many emotions in my life, was quiet. And I was not sleeping. I was with my eyes were open, and I was really observing myself. This was stopped. My mind was completely in silence. But I was aware of that. And a feeling of well-being and quietness and stillness. I don't know how to express with words, but it was a whole experience. Not only my mind, whole my body was experiencing also this beautiful feeling, but especially inside myself. So I finished that and I say, wow, what's this? She said to me, what's this? What? She didn't know. And I said, I've experienced so much peace. I want to learn more about this. So she said, okay, there is a course next week. I said, no, next week, no. I was very anxious at that time. Now. So she said, okay, come tomorrow at 7 in the morning because I have to go to work. And it's the only time that I can be with you and give you the course. So I start the course at 7 in the morning every day for 7 days, and just personal course, one-to-one, face-to-face. And I had, again, some of these experiences, and I enjoy so much. Well, I'm still here, continuing to practice this. And I'm honest with yourself. It was not constantly this experience, but I can say that many times I was able to repeat this beautiful experience, even for a longer time. But I took a decision, and this is the point that I want to bring to you. I took a decision after experiencing for several times this beautiful feeling that I've never experienced in my life, and was not compared with other experiences more emotional and more normal, I would say. No? And I said to myself, I don't want to lose this energy, no matter what are the circumstances. So this was determination. This was decision making. And I can be honest with yourself also. I've lost sometimes this energy, but because in my unconscious mind was this thought with determination, I quickly went out from the situation to go back to my inner peace or inner stability. But this was a powerful thought that still now I remember it. Sitting in solitude, talking to myself and saying, I've done so many things in my life. Good things, bad things, so many things. But never have experienced this peace or this calmness or this tranquility as a whole, not only my mind, as a whole in my body also. So I had this thought, powerful, I remember, I don't want to lose this energy. So when circumstances came to take my peace out, to steal my peace, I remember this thought. This gave me the courage to put more attention. And as I said before, sometimes I was lost in the situation and reacting again and having this intolerance. But quickly I say, hey, what's important for you? What's your purpose? What's your aim in your life? Remember what you want. Remember the decision you took. Oh yes, then I'm able to leave the situation. Doesn't matter if it's unfair, doesn't matter if I am right or not right. The important thing is I'm losing my energy. I'm losing my inner power of peace. If I'm losing it, I prefer to leave the situation, but not to lose this beautiful treasure that I have attained. And I don't want to lose this treasure. If I lose it for 1 minute or two, or 1 hour or two, okay, but not for the rest of my life. I will lose any situation, but not lose my beautiful energy, power. So this is just an example that can show you what is determination. Hmm? And I've done this with other several qualities that I've been experimenting in life. And you need patience and a lot of tolerance with yourself, especially. Because even though you took the decision, although you have determination, and also you create the momentum, still there come situations that you forget all these things and you get involved again in some emotional reactions, or maybe not external, but sometimes internally, and you don't feel happy, nice. But I would say that there are very little occasions like this. Every day, more and more, this energy of peace, of love, of compassion, of kindness is growing slowly, slowly, day by day. This is why it's so important to be consistent, to be consistent. Every day, a little bit. Every day, building the momentum, building the energy, building your capacity, building your resilience. No, it's very nice, this word, resilience. So that when circumstances come, you can deal with them. And well, when you have done all these things and you have this determination and you have this momentum, then you need to create a program. It's like if you want to be fit in with your body, you go to a gym and they give you programs. You want a program for your, I don't know, from losing weight, or you want a program for having more cardio energy. So there are programs, there are trainings, special trainings for that. So you need to find your program, your training. And my special training, and I would suggest that this is the best one for our minds, is meditation. But not only meditation with spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge. Because you need new information to study and reflect on them so that you can build again a new story, a new perception of the same situations that you are living. If you don't have this new information, just meditation, sitting there in silence, breathing, it's nice. But when you have to deal with the situations again, you are involved again emotionally. But if you have new understanding, then you can work with the new understanding and then with the practice of meditation and feeling this calmness and peace. And both together changes your patterns inside yourself. And here is a comment, no? I find observing myself scary, like I'm losing myself. And it's very connected with what I'm now going to explain. Yes, we are so identified with our image, with our personality, even though we have weaknesses and we have things that we don't like of ourselves, but gives us meaning and gives us like a structure to feel, well, in one sense or another, secure, no? Or comfortable, even being uncomfortable. So you need the new information that makes sense and help you to change that. So when I took the course, continuing with my story, And they told me that I was not this body, that I was a soul. You are a soul. And what's the soul? The soul is an energy. So you are an energy here in the middle of the forehead. Like in India, they talk about the third eye. And you are like a little star, pure energy, conscious energy that gives life to this body, that creates a personality. Is like the actor who gives life to the character who is playing, the role who is playing. So it was really new for me, that, because I was so identified with myself, as I said before, no, my way of thinking, my understanding of life, my experiences, my story, and my past. So even though I was angry and frustrated, I was proud of my past, proud of everything I did. So when I started to think about myself as a soul and start to practice, because I have created the momentum, I have took the decision, I decided to train myself and see results, because I'm a very result-oriented person. It's not that I believe in something if I don't see results, but I know that I need to train to see results. Like in sports, I was very active in sports, and I was waking up, I remember, at 6 in the morning to go to train myself in swimming. It was cold in Barcelona, no one was there in the streets, but I wanted to achieve a goal. So I went very far to a club of swimming, and I was myself with another person, two boys, young boys, training there and swimming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then going to school. So when I wanted something, I knew that I need to put effort and to train myself. So then I say, okay, let's not believe, but let's practice and see the result of this. So I start to practice. I'm a soul. I'm energy. I'm not this body. And the soul is peaceful. Wow, I've experienced this peace. So the energy of peace inside myself. So let's continue. Wow, I'm a soul. I'm energy. And inside myself, inside me, the soul, are beautiful qualities like peace, love, purity, wisdom, power. And practicing, I was observing in myself that I was becoming more stable, that there was like kind of sadness inside my heart from many situations that I have lived in the past. And after practicing meditation in this way, with this understanding, this was disappearing. And I was saying, wow, this is working. I don't feel this sadness in my chest. Wow, beautiful. I was able to be more patient because I was very impatient. I was able to be more tolerant because I was it's true, I was very, very intolerant. I was able to be more quiet, be my own without needing all the people. So I was seeing changes in myself. And then I started to really appreciate myself and the effort that I was doing. So yes, can be scary to see yourself as you are in your present situation. And this is why you need information. But when you have this beautiful information that you are a soul, pure energy, and the soul is eternal, when they gave me this understanding, it was, wow, eternal. I exist always. Wow. I don't understand this, but it's interesting thought. So when I start to practice, it was not scaring. It was really beautiful to go inside, because I knew then about, with this new information, that are beautiful treasures inside myself. I don't have to look my weaknesses and look my limitations and look all these limitations of the mind that I have been living with them for so long. Now I can focus my energy in another place, in another perception, in another identification of myself. And in fact, with the years, I realized that this is not imagination, that is your true identity. I can say that I'm not all the day aware of that. I forget, of course. But it's now very ingrained inside myself because so many years that it's clear that I'm not this body. I'm pure energy and I am a soul. And I remember when my father died, my brother also started to meditate time before, and we are two, my brother and myself. And when we were in the place where the body of my father was there, and people were coming from the family and people around, and both of us, we were looking to the body and we saying, our father is not there. He has gone. He has fly away. So there was not sadness. There was only good feelings, pure thoughts, and a lot of love to him, wishing him the best for their next step, for their journey, for their next life, or whatever it would be his next step. But there was not sadness because in front of us there was only a body, nothing else. Not my father. My father fly away. So I also experienced this experience such a beautiful, and as a result of the practice of being aware of the soul and looking at others as a soul, that I continue to practice. And it takes time, and still there are patterns that are there. But now I could say I'm not only not scary to go inside, but I want to go inside myself. Sometimes I'm scary about the world, how it is and how it's people. And I want to find again a spot of time to sit in solitude, to connect with myself, to be at peace, to reinforce my decisions, and to continue to experience these beautiful experiences, even though sometimes it's not so easy because things come in the way, get in the way. Then you need training. So meditation is the training to go inside, to understand yourself as a soul, to practice, and don't allow your mind to go in this direction that we have seen before. And train your mind to be in the present moment, to be at peace, to think less, and to be involved in these simple thoughts, but very powerful, like I am a soul, I am peaceful, I am light. I love this thought. I've repeated it thousands of times and gives meaning to my life, and it's beautiful energy. I'm light. I'm pure energy. I'm light. I'm a conscious being. I'm light. So beautiful. So you see it in solitude, in silence, and you just repeat with understanding and putting your attention in this point here in the middle of your forehead, because you are there, feeling that you are seated behind your eyes and you are looking the world through your eyes like two big windows. And you are there seated, controlling your world, your inner world. And from there you see the world. From there you express yourself through your mouth. From there you listen to the world. And then you create the story. And there is another comment. When the present moment is painful. The present moment can be painful if you connect with the circumstances that are in your life. But if you learn the art of going inside and connect with your treasures, you will deal with circumstances in a very different way. And you will see that this painful will change into learning, into accepting, and you will become more merciful, more compassionate. It's part of our life to go through pain, to accept, and then reach the new phase, the new experience. I've gone through a lot of pain, emotional pain, psychological pain, physical pain, because when I was 21, 22, 20, till 25 or 27, I was very healthy physically, but I have a lot of psychosomatic illnesses because of my emotions, because of my situations, because of my life, and painful. I was not able to breathe for 1 week sometimes. I was thinking that I was dying. I couldn't move myself for 1 week. No one find anything in me. Everything was perfect. But the fact was I couldn't breathe, and I was having big headache and big migraines in my eye here, that I could see light. I was 3 days sometimes in darkness, resting because I couldn't talk. So many things happened at that time for a few years. And then suddenly, when I start to change, I can say that these migraines had disappeared completely from my life. Never I have had more these migraines. This feeling of not breathing completely disappeared. My legs were painful. Now I'm okay. It doesn't mean that I'm becoming old and things are as they no. You become old, so some parts of your body become old also. So you have little problems, but not like before. So this is the journey. To understand the journey, and to understand that you have to go through these situations to learn something. But again, you need training. This doesn't happen just thinking about it, understanding it, reading books about this, going to seminars or courses like this. Everything helps. But finally, you need to sit. And I'm not talking now to you personally. I say you, but it's general, you or we need to sit and practice and train yourself and practice every day, and not 10 minutes. I would say for a person who doesn't meditate, okay, do it 10 minutes whenever you can. But for all of you that you are here with this interest, and I'm sure that you have interest in changing yourself, you need to do every day. At least find 1 hour every day. If you want to change, it's the most important thing in your life. At least find an hour to study a little bit spiritual knowledge and to practice and to train your mind and to see the results and observe the impact in your life. You need to prove yourself that this works, and it works. And there is not enough, because it's true, sometimes there are circumstances, situations in our life, can be external or internal. Sometimes internal are more difficult, that are too big for us, or we cannot deal with them, or just with what I've said. So when I took the course also, and they told me about yoga, union, connection not only with yourself, but connection with God, with a higher source of consciousness, with a compassionate and loving being, in the way that you want to understand that. But I tried again to practice, and I was amazed about the feelings, the beautiful feelings that I was feeling when I draw my attention to this being, when I did the effort to connect from my soul to this beautiful soul in silence, and I start to experience love. And I can share with you very openly that till 27 years in my life, I didn't cry, never, not even one drop felt from my eyes. And I've passed through many difficult situations in my life. Rejection even, divorce, so many things in 27 years. Not even one drop. I was dry. I was hard inside myself. I was angry, but not crying. And when I start to meditate and I start to connect with this source of love and compassion, that was not crying. That was like a river flowing from my eyes. It was, I never had also this experience in my life. Like not tears, were balls of boom. And I had to say to the teacher, don't worry, I'm happy, but I don't know what is happening, but something is coming out from myself, inside myself. Something was there, blocked, and now it's coming out. So don't worry, I'm not sad, but I enjoy also to cry. I've never cried in my life. So this took for 1 year. Then everything was becoming more stable. But I wanted to say this, that this connection with this being is not imagination. There is someone there, a beautiful being, helping us, knowing that we are passing through difficult situations, knowing that it's not so easy to change, helping us to change with his beautiful energy. But we need to connect with him or with her, because it's not him or her. We need to do the effort to approach him, to remember him, and then the energy comes to us. We need to do the effort to be concentrated in this soul, me as a soul, and connect with the soul. And in this connection, there is transformation. In this connection is like cleaning all this suffering from the past. It's like cleaning your heart. It's like cleaning your traumas. It's like cleaning your sadness. It's like cleaning your anger. It's like cleaning your impurities and everything that is there and is causing sorrow. In this connection is like it melts away. And it's not easy to express in words because it's an experience. But I would say to all of you, if you are doing it, do it more. If we are not doing it, don't believe in that, but just practice. Practice connecting with a higher source of consciousness and observe the impact that this has in your life. Observe if something happens inside yourself. Observe if your heart becomes stronger and stable and your mind cool and calm. And if it works, continue to work. It works for me. And then it's not only in meditation that you create this connection, but you start to create a relationship with this being, a new relationship, a relationship with a being that you don't see, a relationship with a being that you cannot touch, but it's a different way of relationship. It's a relationship through your mind, through your thoughts, through your vibrations. And I cannot say how it happened because it was gradually, but now I can say that I can feel this being close to me, like a friend. And he's available whenever I remember him, because he doesn't need to move his body, his place, has not a body, has not a place where I have to go. So I can connect with my mind, with my thoughts whenever I want. And well, I thought maybe it's my imagination, but then I realized that many things were happening in my mind, in my life, that I was not creating that. It's like someone was helping me. Someone was inspiring me. Someone was protecting me sometimes. So slowly, I realized that there is someone else, not me, not my imagination, that is helping me. But not only me, I saw how many other people change their lives, connect with more peace and love and happiness, and recognize that they couldn't have done this by themselves, that someone helped them. But they did the effort to sit in solitude, to connect with their soul, and from this consciousness of being soul conscious, connect with a higher source of energy. So I would invite you not to believe in that. It's not a question of believing in God or not, or in light. No, it's a question, very practical, of just practice and see what is the impact in your practical life. See, when you think about this being, how is your mind? When you bring the energy of this being in your mind, what happens even in your body? And the idea is you feel that you are a soul, you experience yourself like a light, a being of conscious light being, and you connect with another light, with a point of light, with an energy, which has its own personality and has a beautiful energy of love, peace, purity. And when you connect, is when the same like when you plug, I don't know the name, when you plug, no, enchufe it's called in Spain. When you plug the plug, no, in the current, then the light comes. But if there is no connection, no light. Same, when you connect in the right way, I'm light and connect with the light, it's like plugging the plug. Then the energy is flowing. And the energy of this being is an energy of love, compassion, empathy, purity, peace, and power. So if you want to regain your power, if you want to become powerful at a spiritual level, connect with the source of power, spiritual power. First, do the job to work on yourself, because this is first step, important, essential. But then try to connect with this being and see the impact that you have. And I would say, be patient, because some days we feel completely disconnected, and then next day things changes. But be consistent. I would say this is the main thing. Consistency is the key for success. Determination is the energy that moves you, but consistency is the key to success. And also appreciate your small wins. Some people say baby steps, no? Every day a little bit, and every day appreciate your wins. Maybe you feel a little bit better. Okay, wonderful. Don't allow the voice, the critical voice, the rejection voice saying, oh, I've practiced today, I don't see results. This is a voice that you have to say to it, please now go on vacations. I don't want to see you for at least 3 months. Then I will tell you what to do. So appreciate small wins, small victories, and see how you're progressing slowly, slowly. These voices try to make you stop your training, making you believe that everything is black and white. You are in black, and in 2 days you have to be in white. No, life is not like this. The voice of spirituality says to you, have patience, move forward, don't stop, continue, and you will be surprised that whenever you think, you will see results in your life. So this is my experience, and at the same time it's like the process to regain your power, and especially to gain victory over these mental limitations that in fact imprisoners us, no? Like makes us as prisoners, no? Prisoners of our thoughts and our old patterns, and we believe that this is true, this is life. And I would say to all of you, no, don't believe your voices, don't believe your beliefs, your assumptions. Challenge them. Now you have new knowledge, now you have new training, now you have new possibilities to change your life. So don't wait, do it now. It's not difficult, it's not easy, it's not difficult. It's just a question of doing it, of practicing it, of moving forward. Very nice. So let's have a moment of questions or comments, and then just a few minutes of meditation, and we will finish with this session. Anyone wants to comment something? I'm looking here to the chat, or if someone can express something. And if not, we can finish with a meditation and a practice of these steps that I've mentioned before. So let's finish with a few moments of practice all together. Again, deep breath. Breathe deeply. English is not my first language. Deep breath. Breathe deeply. Mm-hmm. And relax yourself. Wonderful. And give yourself permission in your mind to experience yourself in a new way. Open your mind and your heart. Give yourself permission. Create this attitude inside yourself. And now, bring your attention to a point in the middle of your forehead. And visualize, or just feel, that there is a beautiful light shining in the middle of your forehead. A beautiful point of light. A bright, tiny point of light. And create these powerful thoughts and repeat inside yourself, I am light. I am a conscious being. My natural nature is peace. I'm a peaceful being. Peaceful being. Connect with this thought. I'm a peaceful being. And enjoy the energy of this beautiful thought. I'm light. I'm a peaceful being. And in this position, inside, internal position, imagine that a beautiful golden ray of light coming from beyond the universe descends over you and touches your soul. A beautiful golden ray of light coming from beyond the universe touches your soul. Feel this light. And feel the connection. And allow this energy of love and compassion to touch your heart. And in this connection, there is a deep transformation. In this connection, the limitation of your mind disappears. And you become a conqueror of your mind. And you become victorious of your mind. And in this connection, there is a beautiful feeling of peace and love. And just remain there for a moment. Absorbed in peace and love. Wonderful. And now keep this experience in your heart as much as you can and repeat it as many times as you can. And you will be surprised of the impact that will have in your life. Breathe deeply and come back. Om Shanti. Very good. I hope you have enjoyed and take benefit. I've enjoyed very much to share these thoughts with you. So, I don't know if there is something to announce or to say before closing. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. Very good. So have a nice day. Enjoy your day. Continue to practice and be happy.